Oh boy, you are not ready for this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and let's talk about the Purist. So the Purist, if you are not aware, is a brand new submachine gun coming to the game with Year 7 Season 1 and the expansion, the Battle for Brooklyn. It comes with a crazy talent. You might have heard about it if you've been on YouTube recently, called Perfect Streamline. Increase weapon damage by 87% when no skills are on cooldown. Now there is also a MK17 called the Lud that's coming. We've already done a video on that. Go and check it out. I won't spoil it for you too much, but that's kind of not too... It's alright, right? It's kind of okay. It doesn't do anything crazy, even though it's got Perfect Streamline on it, because the MK17 just isn't that good. So it doesn't really break the game or do anything kind of weird or anything like that. The Purist, on the other hand, puts it in a slightly different direction. And I am going to show you spreadsheets, and I know it's going to put people off, but unfortunately it's kind of the only way to kind of show you how this is working and how this is happening. So let's take a look at our options here. I've compared it against the Dark Winter, and the pure reason I've compared it against the Dark Winter is it's one of the best SMGs in the game right now. If I compared it against the Chatterbox or the Ouroboros or something like that, it kind of wouldn't be fair, because the Chatterbox can have, you know, no reload and super speed. Ouroboros is rapid and really good anyway. So we've just gone kind of high end for high end when we're going here to kind of give you other options. If you're going to be using them exotics, you're going to use them exotics. They're really good. So I decided to go with the Dark Winter for this comparison. Now, I have had to set up slightly different than what I would as well always. So just give you a heads up, I'm just on a Striker's build, not a Hunter's Fury build or anything like that. They're all got the same build comparison on, so it's kind of fair. But as well, what you got to think about is with the Dark Winter, it has the option here to have a 10% critical hit damage mod on. Now the variant the Lud uses, the Purist uses, that does not have that option. So to keep things fair, I have put the mods on the Dark Winter the same as what I have on the Purist. At the end of the video, we will change that around a little bit once we've kind of seen this comparison. But what I'm also going to bring into the mix is the Vector SBR 45. Because obviously that is the Dark Winter, but not named. And that can have any talent on it wants, including the brand new talent, Streamline. So the question is that better than a Dark Winter? And does the Purist beat them all? So let's take a look at this screenshot. All right, so on the screen right now, you can see it all kind of filled out. Hopefully I've not made any kind of mistakes. So the results are pretty interesting. As you can see here on the screen, the Dark Winter actually wins out, which was pretty surprising to say the least. But the reason it wins out is because we're not that accurate at headshots with an SMG. As you can see with the Purist and with the Vector SBR, they actually do more damage ever so slightly. 2% nearly with the Purist, 3% with the Vector SBR, just on headshots. But they drop off quite significantly in comparison when it comes to body shots. So you can see here with the Purist, it is 96.5. And then with the Vector, it's 97.4. So it actually drops off, and it's not worth that trade-off. That trade-off is absolutely just not worth it. And we can even consider the averages at the end. Whereas if you really wanted to go that route, the Dark Winter and the Vector have got literally hardly any difference in them whatsoever. But the Purist does drop off by 1%. So they're incredibly close. They're so close that I don't think you would notice anything at all. And this is kind of the only thing that is in this patch that kind of feels almost balanced, even though it is using Streamline. Everything else gives you this huge performance lift. And let's face it, if we bring in the abridged mask into this equation, that obviously might change, because we can have streamlined and something else as well. So there is other kind of things coming in the Year 7 Season 1 patch that could significantly sway this. Really, we're just kind of looking at the guns themselves and if there's going to be any serious meta changes or anything like that. But when it comes to these guns and what they're running and what you're putting on them, although streamlined is extremely powerful, the guns that they're on right now, it's not really going to cause too much havoc in these 3 guns. And you really are going to be able to kind of choose whichever you want. I'm going to stick with my Dark Winter. I think it's, you know, it just is what it is, but it's obviously very solo focused. So you've got that to take into consideration as well. Maybe it's worth leveling up a Vector SBR and sticking streamlined on it if it stays at 80%, so that if you're playing in a group and you want to be in an SMG setting, you can switch to that. Because also the chatterbox kind of feels very SMG solo focused. Whereas I would switch to my Ouroboros generally when I'm in a group. I've got that maxed out. If you want the option to run with something else or you don't have an Ouroboros, a Vector SBR with Streamline on right now is probably going to be your go-to gun and what it is that you really want to be using. But I thought this was interesting. Let me know, as always, what you think in the comments down below. Unlike the rest of the thing that's going on, this actually seems pretty stable because we all know the Dark Winter and Killer is very, very good since Killer got its buff last season. That's going to be it for the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. If you want me to test anything else out on the PTS, you've not got long left, you're going to have to let me know in the comments down below. I'll see if I can squeeze it in. Thank you so much for watching, agents, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.